Hey, hello YouTube. Hoping Khaliis, take it your first time to the channel. Please like, subscribe. Also hit the notification bell for me, just so you can get the newest content first and you get my bonus videos that I put out on weekends also. Now, let me just go ahead and jump right into this. I'm definitely going to say tomorrow's game with the Clippers is definitely a game seven. You know, no doubt about it. No other way to look at it. No other way to view it. No other way to even, try to speak it. You know what I'm saying? Or talk about it. It's just the way it is. Now I'm looking at the odds favorites in the situation. I believe the betters still have the Clippers favored by 2 points, I believe. And hearing that is an encouraging thing, for the Clippers. Now, hopefully the Clippers come out and play like they're the favorite team, but, that remains to be seen. They haven't done it thus far in the two games that they played against the Dallas Mavericks. But at the same time, there is hope for Dallas. I mean, there is hope for the Clippers. And to, kind of be optimistic about the situation, Kawhi Leonard's been down 0-2 before. So he can, he can deliver a message to the team what it's like being down 0-2 and what it takes to come back and win. Now, of course, we all know Kawhi is not a vocal leader. This is not what he does, but I do believe more than what the media puts out, Kawhi does lead some, with his vocals, not only his gameplay. I do believe he leads more by his gameplay, but you can't tell me that Kawhi Leonard doesn't speak to the players in the locker room and, try to, implement some things that he knows, as far as winning championships, because there's players in locker rooms all the time asking questions and, probably inquiring like, hey, Kawhi, what is it like to win a championship? What is it like to go through that whole grind, that process? I'm pretty sure players in the locker room have asked him things like this before, and I'm pretty sure he's spoken about it. Now, he's not a highly spoken guy because he doesn't speak much, but I think he's pretty direct in his approach and, how he speaks. And I believe that's just by the way he carries himself. That's how he seems anyway. But, of course, more so than anything, he does lead by example. And I will say that. But at the same time, Kawhi's been down 0-2. So, he can go in the locker room and give the team a speech maybe, or, just say something in regards to what it's like being down 0-2 because he's been under that pressure. Just a couple of years ago in Toronto, everybody thought the Milwaukee Bucks was going to beat the Toronto Raptors because they was up 2-0, and Kawhi and company goes and win four straight. And I'm not saying it's going to happen this series because I actually picked this series to go 7 games myself. So, and I still think it can go 7 games possibly, what I'm saying? Because mathematically, you're not eliminated until you're eliminated, and I said it in my last video, you got to win 4 games. 2 games is good, but winning 4 games is tough. Now, I do realize, this is going to be even tougher than what it was in the beginning because you're going on the road in Luka's house and the crowd is going to be just, rocking and lit and everybody going to be ready to go. Everybody's going to be ready to like just jump out the gym. Basically, anytime the Mavericks hit a shot, you know what I'm saying? Or, make a good play, and Luka's going to be really, really, probably ready to go, so, and the fact that the odds makers have the Clippers favored in this game. Rick Carlisle is in the locker room probably telling these guys, the Dallas Mavericks players now, that they're being underappreciated and undersold and undervalued in this situation when they really have been playing like the better team. But at the same time, the Clippers have to be motivated as well because you're still the favorite, even based upon the pathetic play you put out on the court, besides maybe 2 players, which is Paul George and, Kawhi Leonard, of course, you're still favored. And I think the Clippers going to really have to take that into account and really understand, hey, we still got a chance here. We still have an opportunity. And you know something, we can still prove our doubters wrong, but it's going to take a Herculean effort by Kawhi and PG, and please, somebody else on the Clippers. You're going to have to step up. It's going to have to be a Marcus Morris. It's going to have to be, maybe a Reggie Jackson or, of course, I believe in Rondo, so I'm not going to speak too much on him. I definitely believe Rondo is, come through. I just think Rondo needs a lot more minutes or Rondo needs to be starting, and throw Terrence Mann in there too. I've said that before in my, in the, in my other videos, in my comments, when I've spoke with, some people about this, but you got to really implement, better ways of playing defense. Ty Lue, you know, as much Ty Lue's not going to get any blame hardly if all this goes to shreds. If this whole operation goes down, they lose in the first round. The only person who get all the blame is Kawhi Leonard. And the superstar always gets the blame. That's just the way it goes. But when you look at Ty Lue's coaching and his inability to make adjustments like Rick Carlisle is doing, it's almost like a chess match because to me, Rick Carlisle is the reason why the Dallas Mavericks are up 2-0, along with the fact of the other players on Dallas that can't miss from 3-point range. But Rick Carlisle is basically out coaching Ty Lue. Ty Lue is making all the mistakes to me. I don't understand how you have Boogie Cousins. He's not even playing. I don't understand how Terrence Mann doesn't really get much time. I don't understand why Rondo isn't starting. I just don't understand these things. To me, that's what you got Rondo for, to go out there in games like these and orchestrate everything exactly how it's supposed to go. And, it's just, to me, the Clippers are a rhythm team. When they're in rhythm and the timing and everything is in structure and everything's going well, that's when they play their best. And right now they're not playing their best because they don't have that rhythm as a team. And hopefully they find it by tomorrow because, like I said, tomorrow is their game 7. And I don't care what you say. Paul George says, no worries. Paul George says, we're still confident and there's nothing to worry about, all this crap. But there is something to worry about because you're down 2-0 and you're going to the opposing team's house. It'd be one thing if you were down 2-0 and you're going back to LA for the next 2 games where you got your home crowd where you could feed off that energy. But now you don't have that. Now you have to go to the opposing team's house and you have to try to fight against the crowd and your demons yourself and try to win a game with Luka on the other side and the rest of his crew on the other side that is highly motivated to beat you and that has all the supreme confidence in the world to beat you because they thought they should have beat you last year. And this is what I'm saying. The Clippers can win this game. The Clippers can make all the right moves in this game if they play the game the right way. My personal opinion, I've said it before. I don't care if Luka gets 50 points. I really don't. But those other guys, the Brunsons, the Finney Smiths, the Tim Hardaway Juniors, they can't shoot the way they're doing. Tim Hardaway can't have 30 points. Dorian Finney-Smith can't have 25 points. Porzingis can't have, a really, really, really good shooting night. You have to limit those other guys, and that's what I think that's killing the Clippers. Who would have thought? Tim Hardaway's been playing good the last month of the season, I believe, but who would have thought Tim Hardaway would be shooting this good? Tim Hardaway looks like his dad, Tim Hardaway Sr., or he looks like, Reggie Miller, or he, from 3-point range, he looks like Dirk Nowitzki, from the past. It's like it's insane what the Clippers defense is doing. They're so lackadaisical, acting like their offense is going to take care of everything. In the playoffs, specifically, it's all about defense. And I think that's where the Clippers really, really are flailing at. They're really, really losing their edge at because, yeah, everybody's sitting around saying they got 2 of the best wing players, but that's 2 guys. That's 2 guys. They can't guard everybody and drop 30, 40 points in a 7-game series. It has to be a collective team effort of playing defense, being dedicated, and playing with just more energy. You got to play with more energy. You can't play this lackadaisical basketball and expect to win. Like I said, my strategy, the only strategy I think that's feasible in this series, especially being down 0-2, let Luka go for 50 and just play him one-on-one. Don't double team him. Don't do anything because if Luka has 40 or 50 points and only 3 assists, you probably can win that game because that means all the other ones were neutralized and all the other ones are not as effective. And that's the way it has to be. You can't sit there and play it any other way. This is the way to play it. This is the way it has to be. And you just got to hope that Kawhi Leonard, can play the way he did last game, and Paul George could play the way he did last game, maybe play a little bit better because I think he was 1 for 7 from three. But for the most part, if I had to grade Paul George, I would give him like a B minus that game. Of course, I give Kawhi Leonard, a A plus that game. But at the same time, you had 69 or 70 points combined with your two superstars, and you lost. Most teams, if they have 55 plus points with both of their superstars, 9 times out of 10, you're winning that because that's a lot of production from your two superstars. And the only thing you need is a couple role players and from the starting lineup and or the bench just to chip in, and that's an easy W. But Paul George and Kawhi Leonard put up 70 points damn near and lost that game. That's unreal. Like I said, I'm calling out Marcus Morris. I'm calling out Reggie Jackson. I'm calling out everybody else on the Clippers roster besides Kawhi and PG. Because last game, they played really good. Really good. I mean, especially Kawhi Leonard. I mean, Kawhi Leonard had 30 points at halftime, and the Clippers were only up by 2 points. The score was 73-71, and Kawhi had 30 points at halftime. That's unreal. Unreal. You have to play better defense than that, and you have to, put yourself in better position to win games. Way better than that. I mean, because honestly, the second half, Kawhi, put up 11 and 12 points the second half, but I mean, he was so tired from the first half. I mean, trying to guard Luka some, trying to guard Finney Smith, trying to plays on the ball, get extra steals, guard Khaliis some. I mean, it's like to me, you're wearing your superstars down if you're asking for them to do that much and you can't even come out with a victory from a game like that. That's just unreal to me. And like I said before, I really hope that, the Clippers really figure this out because tomorrow night, 9:30 when it comes on, well, 6:30, here this time, but the 9:30 for the other coast where I used to be. Um, it's it's do or die for them, And like I said, I've always been Kawhi Leonard's my favorite player. I go on record by saying that all the time, so I always pull for Kawhi Leonard. What I'm saying, that's my guy. I always got his back. It don't matter what it is and whatever team he's on, wherever he's at. What I'm saying, like. And I hope they win tomorrow because, I really want him to stay in LA with the Clippers. I hear all these things about him being traded or excuse me, him wanting to go to Miami, the Warriors, and now I'm hearing the New York Knicks, all this other stuff. I really want him to stay in LA because I think he's a good fit for LA. And like I said, he was born in LA and he really shouldn't be anywhere else. And for him not to have an opportunity to get ahead with this team is really, really bad on this team's part. A lot of people are going to blame Kawhi Leonard for not delivering a championship. Kawhi Leonard can only win a championship if he has the right players around him. I think the Clippers have a lot of good pieces, but as of right now, when you look at them, when they need to play at a high level, they don't fit. See, in the regular season, you could win off talent. And that's exactly what they were doing. They had a lot of talent on the team. But in the playoffs, you got to win with camaraderie type pieces, pieces that fit. When you look at Luka in Dallas, all the pieces on Dallas fit with him. He has a good rough backup point guard in Brunson. Dorian Finney-Smith is a good wingman. Tim Hardaway is a good shooting guard, especially now that his jumper is acting, is more like his dad's used to be. And, Porzingis is a versatile big man. And Luka can just do everything on the court, almost like a Slovenian LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? So everybody fits on that team. It's nothing really out of place, out of order. All of them fit. And this is what I'm saying. The Clippers, to me, in order for them to play like they fit as a unit, they have to play defense. Because when you look at their roster, they have a bunch of good players, but at the same time, do they all fit with each other? Paul George, I mean, he played really good last game, but there were a couple questionable things that he did. Like the one when he had Porzingis 1-on-1 and the commentators were like, hey, take him to the basket. Don't step back and shoot a three. And what did Paul George do? Step back and shoot a three, brick it, and then Tim Hardaway comes on the other end and knock down a big three. This is what I'm talking about. Things like that cannot happen. But when you have team with chemistry and camaraderie, everybody understands what they're supposed to be doing and exactly how to execute the plan. And if the Clippers are going to be the team that everybody thinks that they are and the team that everybody wants them to be, well, they have to actually start playing like it. Because if they don't, I promise you, this series is over. And like I said, it might actually end in Dallas if they don't be careful. So my thing is, don't beat yourself in this game. Limit the turnovers and play within your means. Because I'm telling you, that's exactly what Dallas is doing. They're just playing within their means. They're not doing nothing really trickery. They're not doing nothing that you haven't seen before. They're just playing within their means. Luka, goes to the top of the key. They play the pick and roll, and every time the Clippers switch, Luka kills them. Whether it's with a pass out to the 3-point line, or whether it's him scoring with a one-legged jumper that Dirk must have taught him to add to his game. And that's pretty much what he's doing. It's nothing really trickery. It's nothing really special. It's just the fact that you're playing poor executional basketball and they're executing their plays at a high level, which is straightforward basketball, basic basketball when a defense is not playing the way they're supposed to. And that's exactly what the Dallas Mavericks are doing. They're taking advantages of your weakness on defense by just doing, running simple plays. And really, it's not that difficult. So like I said, to all Clippers fans, hey, you may not agree, but only thing they need to do, I mean, honestly, but maybe not the only thing, but I think go one on one with Luca, let him score 50, but only have 2 or 3 assists. Because if he has 35 or 38 points with 12 assists, you're not going to beat them because he's distributing too much and there's too many wide open shots for players to have, and it's going to make it a disaster for the Clippers. I mean, if Luka's going one on one, okay, if he hits the shot, who cares? He might score 40 or 50, but he's not kicking it out to the 3-point line. And if he does kick it out to the 3-point line, now you're making those 3-point shooters on Dallas put the ball on the floor and try to drive to the basket, where you have Zubac in there, or you have Ibaka in there, who are shot blockers. Makes the whole game different. It is simple arithmetic. It is really not that difficult. And if Ty Lue can't figure this out, well, why don't you give me Ty Lue's job? Because apparently he doesn't need to be making that type of money. Apparently he needs to be somewhere where he come from and, living in wherever he lives and not be bothered with. I mean, I don't think the NBA needs trash because apparently it's pathetic trash of coaching that if you can't figure that out. Luca is one 22-year-old kid. He is a great player. Let great players do their thing because you can't stop them anyway. But if you stop all the other guys, I promise you, this is a different series. And this game that comes on tomorrow will have a lot of differences to it rather than the first two. But hey, that's my take on it. Hey, leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think about what I said. If you agree or disagree, I'm definitely open to any comments and try to engage in the Cali Tech community as much as I can. And that's pretty much how we do here. You know that Cali Tech community means everything. I'm just the spokesman for it, and your opinion means more than mine still. So like I always say though, next time.